uh, it's crazy. One day you're starting off as just a regular day and you're doing a regular hike and looking at your profile, just looking at all the amazing things that you've accomplished physically, just from
Hmm.
Spartan races to climbing
Hmm.
and then here you are one day, January 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is the middle, is this like early in the week? So
Yeah.
are
It's a
you were off for
Tuesday.
vacation? Is it a vacation for you? Were you working? Are you retired?
Well, it was a vacation, but I had just left my previous job, and I was taking like a fun employment, as you call it.
Like in
Um,
between jobs?
yeah, like I took a week off, and I went to this summit Baden Powell because, well, I do the 6 pack of peaks every year, and Baden
Yeah.
Powell is the
We're
furthest
behind
one.
this year, right? We're behind this year.
I'll catch up, but 2 years ago I didn't start until May, and I was actually hiking with the Calabasas Day Hikers. Have you heard of them?
No, I have
So
not.
they're a hiking
Calabash.
group. Yeah, but this particular one, so I wanted to do like the furthest. Like this is the furthest from my house. So when I do the 6 packs, I start out the furthest, and then like San G is usually my last one that I'll do because it's the highest and the most challenging.
You're in San
But
Diego, right?
yeah, I live in San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah, you're
Right.
right. You're right about Baden Powell.
Yeah, I'm Baden Powell is like a 2.5 hour drive. I mean, when I had my accident, I was airlifted to Pomona Valley Hospital, and that's like far from home.
Yeah, that makes that situation even more discomforting that you're far from home, right? That you're far from your friends and family and you're just
Yeah,
not a 30-minute drive away, like you're
right, right.
over 2 hours away.
I know. And I had to inconvenience them by saying, "Oh, sorry, you have to drive all this way to my deathbed." But
So
we go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just saying, like, the backstory to the desire to hike these mountains while there's still snow on it goes
Yeah.
back to that Whitney post, because when I climbed that chute, it was a game changer for me.
That was the
You
first
know,
time?
yeah, it was the first time, not my first time climbing Whitney, but the worst part of climbing Mount Whitney, anyone will tell you, is those 97 switchbacks.
Yeah, yeah. I hike those in the dark, man. I hear a
Well,
lot of people talk about the 99 switchbacks, but to me it was like because we did it at so in the dark, we were just climbing. It was so cold,
right.
and
Well,
I
yeah,
didn't really feel it.
sure. You got to do that alpine ascent, right? And watch the sunrise from the summit, or at least get up there early enough. But
Yeah,
it was completely covered with snow and ice. And 2 years ago in July, if you remember that year, there was like a lot of rains and the snow just,
this was the
this was
picture, right? This is the post.
that's the post. And if you scroll a little down, look at the date. It was in mid-July of
Yeah, July
2017.
13th, 2017. Yeah,
Right, right. And if you swipe to the left, you'll see a photo of the chute. I mean, these are just spectacular. Yeah. So look at that. This is after I climbed the chute. I reached Trail Crest, and I started going behind those needles, the path toward,
yeah.
and then you had this view of the chute. If you look at the magnitude of it, like how steep it is,
Is this it?
yeah, like here I'm looking down. The one before I was looking up.
This one you're looking at?
Yeah, right. So this is a 31% gradient, and like a mile. But again, like I using crampons and an ice pick and going up this way, as I said, was a total game changer. I never wanted to again hike the 97 switchbacks, and I wanted to do more winter hiking.
So this
So
was the beginning of it for you, July 13th, 2017, where you like, I want to do more ice climbing, more snow stuff.
that was it. That was it. The game
Is this the
changer.
Mountaineers route here?
This is, yeah.
I just did one of these interviews with George or Jorge. He's known as Bleeding Gums, and he just did the Mountaineers route with two of his friends, two girls, for the first time. This is like I think his second time doing it, and he
Yeah,
took these two girls on that climb, man, and he has some spectacular photographs. And just
yeah,
the traverse from the notch and the needles and camping
yeah.
below, like at the Boy Scout Lake, and and
Uh-huh.
just ice picking it in crampons on the side of a mountain. And then I don't know if you've seen SoCal Travels, like his head cam. He has like a head cam video of like he literally on the side of a mountain, dude. He's like, it's totally freaky. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but if not, I'll share that with you. But
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
guy
Yeah,
is
share that.
incredible. Like he had a GoPro on his helmet, so
Hmm.
his vantage point was just like, just
Yeah,
so insane.
I would have
So
liked
this,
that.
yeah,
And
to wear a
and
head cam video or
well, yeah, I do have a helmet mounted GoPro. I have like one of the original GoPros, like the Hero Silver Edition or whatever.
yeah, there's so
Um,
many of them.
but and a short battery life. But I was going to get
Yeah,
a
they do.
Garmin Verb or one of the Garmin cameras.
Oh, they have one. Garmin's have like a GoPro type of camera.
Yeah, it's called the Verb, the VIRB.
Oh, okay. I
But
know
they
that.
have other models as well. But this one, this picture,
This one,
um, yeah, well, on the descent, we glissaded down. Like you'll see these
right?
chutes here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Eh,
way you kind of you grab the axe and you kind of arrest
yeah,
yourself, something like that, right?
really. And you have to dig in. And if I had an ice axe with me at Baden Powell, I would have been able to self arrest. But Baden Powell is not. It's not.
Interesting.
But it's not the type of hike that you bring an ice axe to. You need
Mm,
trekking poles.
and you
Because
had
it's
those, right?
I had those, and I had crampons.
On,
But
you had them on.
I had them on. But it's a freak thing. I lost my footing, like a momentary. And when I read the logs, the most recent logs on SoCal, I'm sorry, Six Pack of Peaks.
Hmm.
Um, the last Baden Powell hike log was April 28th, and the girl said the same thing I saw, like going down, it's slippery, and you got to be careful. I mean, even today, 3 months later. So um, even having crampons on, and they said they have micro spikes and
Hmm.
whatever, but you know, there's no way I could stop without an ice axe. But again, it's like when I climbed Baldy Ball, I was deliberately climbing vertically up the bowl, and that
Right.
was another epic hike. And I had a helmet on, I had the right gear. This is a switchback trail. It's not a mountaineer's route. There's no scrambling here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but they'll tell you that after mile 1, which is like where it starts snowing over, the path kind of like switches back a few times and then it starts going straight up, so people don't really know where to go.
Mm.
So I mean, having said that, it's unlikely that I'll be joining you on the May 25th hike.
Right. Right.
I mean, I simply cannot risk it. but
No, and yeah, nor should you.
but yeah, but when we look on video again, I'll show you. I just bought the Garmin InReach, this satellite radio, this
Uh-huh.
satellite, and I'm gonna bring it with me on all my hikes, future hikes.
Is that like the Spot, kind of like similar to, like, you heard of that Spot one that's like an
Yeah,
orange one?
it's similar to Spot, and indeed the Garmin InReach is orange, but this mini
Mm.
one fits in the palm of my hand. It's tiny,
Mm.
but I got peace of mind. There's an SOS button. Um, if you look at my post, you'll see that I was able to call 911, and I even have
But you had to crawl,
recording.
right? You had to
Huh?
crawl, like you had to crawl yourself. You didn't have like access, right? You didn't have a signal when you stop.
No, I didn't have a signal. Because I mean, you've been to Baden Powell probably, and you know
No,
that.
I've never been. This will be
Oh,
my
you never
first
been?
time doing it. No, I don't. That's I'm just
Okay,
like so
yeah.
blown away
You'll have
by.
you'll have no cell service in the parking lot, and probably the fact that I was at just a mile south of that picture that we saw.
Hmm.
I was a mile on my way down, just a mile, but I was still at 8,000 feet. But because I'm so high up and relatively unobstructed, that I was able. But it took me 3 hours to get a signal and get through and keep the signal long enough to make my call to the emergency services.
Oh my
And
God.
and I'm grateful. Like, I had no idea the Special Enforcement Bureau had a Twitter feed, because they, as you see, if you go to my bio and click on that
Yeah,
link.
yeah. I remember. I saw it when I profiled your situation here. Like I saw that video. I
Yeah,
was blown away.
yeah, like the second, if you swipe left on that second one, that's the me hauling up.
Yeah.
And if you look at the comments, my friends are saying, like, my friend said, "Thanks for saving my friend's life." And this woman, a good friend of mine, she just got into a serious bike accident last week,
Oh my
and she
God.
broke her ribs and she got screws in her back, and I don't know the extent of the damage, but man, it's just so sad.
So Jason, so that morning, so it was just a Tuesday morning hike. You
Yeah,
summited, you got to the top. I saw that you got to the top. I saw that picture that I like this famous picture here. You
yeah,
got to the top.
yeah,
You summited, you had crampons on, no ice axe, trekking poles, got to
right,
the top, took a couple pictures, and you're on your way down now, right? So you're coming
right,
down the mountain and you just
right,
lost your footing.
yeah,
Despite the crampons, you lost the footing.
right.
And you like tumble like how far you think you fell down? About 100
Well,
feet?
yeah. In fact, I had my Garmin on, and I analyzed the data, and it was like about 100. Like there was like maybe 120 to 150 feet
Wow.
loss. So I slid that much down in elevation,
Hmm.
but it was really steep, and I was going really fast, out of control. And frankly, it's a blur to me now, my memory of it. But all I remember is like where I stopped. Like there was blood on the inside of my shades, and I was fighting for breath, and then I was able to pull it together, and then I crawled for a little bit down to the clearing where they picked me up. If you saw on that video, it's clear.
Right. That open brush. It's almost like a little meadow or something, right?
Yeah, it's a fallen tree, um, you know, and I was up against it. But yeah, see how it's open there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I crawled down to that part.
And it took you. So you finally you got it, like you said, you got it together, and then you kind of like you try to you compose yourself and you try to get a signal. Like your first thought, let me get on a phone call. Let me try to reach
Yeah.
out for help.
Hmm.
And you didn't have a signal. That oh my God, I was so scared to realize you have no signal whatsoever.
Right. And I tried to like get up and walk, but my my ribs were broken, and like it was extremely painful. And I had lost a shoe also, so I had one stocking foot in the snow and ice. And only after a couple of hours, I took out my space blanket. But I was still hypothermic. I didn't feel cold. I don't remember
Hmm.
feeling cold, but I had
Hmm.
hypothermia. When they pulled me on board the chopper, I was like at 94, like
That's
410.
considered hypothermic when you're hypothermia, like at 94.
Yeah. But
Man, that's
I had a punctured lung, and I had blood in my lungs, and a collapsed flail chest. So, but when I was sitting there, like I expected to see somebody coming up the trail, or you know, I never felt for a moment that this was my time. For some reason, I can't even explain it, but I just knew it wasn't my day.
so you called 911. Like so after the fall, you still laid there for like 3 hours, or you had to clear come out of the tree, come to that clearing, and try to just reach out for a
Yeah,
signal.
yeah, uh-huh.
And you just call 911, and they kind of they know your coordinates based on the cell signal.
Well, I mean, that was the miracle of it, because I kept getting cut off, as you know, because the signal kept coming out.
Oh
And
man.
911 would patch me into the emergency services, and I would talk to them. We get cut off, and then I call 911 again and say again, I've been in an accident, and then and understand also, I've like my left lung is collapsed, and
Right, you're in
I'm
pain.
having
You have broken ribs.
right, so I have trouble articulating what the problem is. So I'm trying to
Wow.
say on the phone, I have broken ribs, and I'm on Mount Baden Powell, and like they go, what? And I had to spell it for them. Okay.
Whoa,
But
man.
when they passed me through to the SEB,
That's
they knew it was the Pacific Crest Trail. And then I remembered in my mind, that's right, it is Pacific. But I knew I was 3 miles up from the trailhead on Mount Baden Powell.
mhm.
And so much later, I learned that they had actually called me back and left a voicemail on my cell phone that somehow I never got, and I recorded it. I have it here, but basically they told me, phone keeps coming out, but we got your coordinates and we're coming for you.
And you never heard that until way after
Till way after, yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, Jason, that's crazy. And did so you never felt like it was like the end, and you lay there for 3 hours. They finally reach you. Did you just heard like the chopper blades come over the air?
Yeah.
Like what was your first sign of like they're here?
No, it was. I don't know. I might have been in shock, but I just knew. It just didn't seem weird. I just knew they would come. I just knew.
So, and you were conscious through the whole process, like when they set you up in the gurney and then they lifted you up, you were awake and all that. You remember
Yeah,
that?
I was conscious. Like the one guy dropped down, and then he actually took my pack. Like my straps had been broke off my pack, so I couldn't even. It's useless now. But I lost my
But he
trekking
recovered it.
poles.
But he recovered the pack though.
Yeah, but again, you couldn't put it on your back. So
Right.
the guy was hoisted back to the chopper just with my pack, and then the other guy put a harness on me, and he knew I had broken ribs, but as you see in the video, like we're kind of like tandeming um, up into the chopper. And then once I'm in the chopper, like you'll see the third picture, my face is pixelated out, but that's me. And I
Yeah,
was
they
in
do
really
that.
pain. Sure. I
They
couldn't
do
lie
that.
down, so I had to like be sit up and lean out against one of the first responders.
Unless your orange outfit, you can see that that's you, right?
Yeah. Well, it looks like my body's all twisted there,
Yeah, it does. It looks like they're propping you up.
Yeah.
And then how long was the flight over to? They just kind of stabilized you there in the flight over to Pomona Hospital.
Yeah. They asked me questions, my age, and I remember like telling like it was hard to talk, but I use my fingers to indicate my age, and then they say, "Oh, 54," and I'm like, "Yeah, shit," and then
Yeah.
who's my emergency contact? And I asked them to hand me the phone, and I went to my girlfriend's, and was pointed. So basically, I was able to communicate without speaking,
It
because
was
at that point,
painful. That was
yeah,
it's hard to like to recognize that you had a collapsed lung, you had broken ribs, and we take for granted all these little things. Yeah, I can talk, I know where I'm at, and even those little things like that become so hard.
right. I mean, especially because the pain was really setting in now. Like, now Pomona Valley Hospital is a 27-mile flight from Baden Powell. I measured it, so it probably took only 20 minutes to get there, a half an hour. Um, and then when they took me off, I had my wallet. I had all my ID. I saw my wallet has been like pulled apart. They took out my ID, my insurance cards, and all that, and so they knew who I was. But when I was in triage, they jammed a tube into my side to open up my lung, and that was painful. So I was just lying there waiting to be addressed, but there were other people around me who also heard, and one lady kept screaming. She must have been in real pain,
Wow.
but you see the scar now. Like I have 3 holes where chest tubes were. Like the other 2 was after they did the operation. I had chest tubes for 5 days to drain the lungs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's this whole process after like, they rescue you, but then you got like this process to kind of put you back together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
How long was that period of time to kind of actually walk out of the hospital?
I was there for a week. I was in ICU for 5 days, and then
Wow.
2 days in the general ward, and then they let me go.
It's like a week, right? A whole week.
Yeah.
And 5
But
days in ICU. That's intense, man.
yeah. I mean, I was attached to those chest tubes, and so a couple weeks ago when we were texting, like or actually communicating through Instagram,
Instagram, yeah.
I was actually in Pomona that day.
Hmm.
seeing my original surgeon because I wanted answers from him. But you know, he it was remarkable to him. He says, "You look good, man," and he knew your old back was all messed up because like all of my ribs in my back were broken and the lower ones were broken in multiple places.
How many ribs in total?
9.
Wow. Jeez.
And you know, we have 12 ribs in the back. 9 of them were the
Wow.
ribs 3 through 12 were broken.
Wow.
And so 5 of them had to be stabilized with or fixated, they say, with what do they call it? Well, like they had to put like it looks like metal chain links, but
Right, right. To kind of hold them together, right? To
yeah,
get them to heal.
yeah. But you know, he said, you know, like I said, you know, I like this guy, this surgeon. He was like very enthusiastic because like whenever he talked to me in the hospital, he was talking about, wow, your ribs are like this, and we did this, and we did that. And we did that. You know, he says in 10 years of rib plating, I've never seen anything like it. And,
Really? He made you
yeah,
like a different type of situation, like something he's never seen
yeah.
before. Oh
I
my
said, yeah,
God.
use my case at your next conference. You know, like just tell people, hey, you know what you accomplished with this, like this special case. And so when I saw him, he said, "You look good," and I say, "Hey, you guys saved my life, and I know you guys my life." And but you know that was there when like you know the hole in my diaphragm became evident, and so
Okay, that was
I had
very
that.
recent.
Yeah, well, that's surgery was April 26th, so it was just like a week and a half ago.
That's this one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, but you know I'm better now. Like you know, since then I've gone on 3 hikes totaling 18 miles. You know, so
And so would you consider those strenuous?
no, they were you know walking around the block or my local canyon. It's just a flat hike, maybe a couple short hills, but nothing.
Okay,
Yeah, no
okay.
elevation gain. I
No,
haven't
I love
done
it.
that yet.
But you've been cycling, and you said cycling and hiking, right?
Yeah.
So, kind of looking back on this, Jason, like, what would you have done different, right? Knowing what you know now. Obviously, you were telling me a little bit before we started recording the investment in some sort of a GPS device that kind of helps people know where your location is at should you have a slip and fall. Um, and what else would you have done different, or would you do different?
Well, definitely hike with a group, hike with people.
And not
Um,
hike alone.
right. So when I was there, like having other people there might not have helped me much because nobody probably could get its self signal, but at least somebody could walk down to
Right.
and then drive to Wildwood or you know there's a nearby town and maybe call for help there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but definitely hike with a group or tell somebody you know. This satellite phone, that's another thing you need to bring, especially a lot of these hikes are, you know, they're beautiful, but they're so out of the way and they're tucked in the
Yep.
mountains and there's no
Yep.
cell signal.
Yep.
This
Right from the
particular,
trailhead, right? Like right from the trailhead, there's no signal. It's like that's
right
it.
from,
Even
yeah,
driving to a trailhead, there's no signals.
there's no signal, right? I mean, even your car GPS, like, you know, loses you.
Yep.
So, but, you know, the satellite feature has like, you know, it's SOS. I can notify my loved ones. So they can track it like every 10 minutes, they'll see like a signal for me, like where I am and all that.
So
But
it
you know,
doesn't necessarily have to be your conscious, right? So if you lose consciousness, you have a pretty nasty fall, and you lose consciousness, but it's still it's still, so you have to just turn it on and wear it as you're going through your hike, right? It's not something you
right.
activate.
Sure. So, I mean, at worst, they could like at least locate my body. I mean, but you know, that's kind of that's last resort. But you know,
Yeah.
but again, notifying people where you are. You know, like if I didn't come home like late in the day, they might get worried and try to call me.
Did somebody know
Um,
you were out that day?
no, nobody did.
Nobody knew?
No, I didn't tell. You know, 'cause I didn't tell my girlfriend because you know, she was working and I'm having a you know a week to myself. You know.
Right.
And nobody, I
Okay.
can't find anybody crazy enough to do these things with me, you know?
Well, man, I've discovered a ton. There's this, I'm just midweek hikers or some guys that I've been
No, I know.
interacting with.
I
Those guys
follow
are,
them.
Yeah, those guys like on a Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, they're going like doing some crazy ass
I
hike
know.
somewhere, you know?
It's like, yeah, if I didn't have a job, I'd join them, but you know,
Yeah, well, those guys must have like, they probably work on weekends, or probably they're rich. I don't know.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, I follow them.
we're hike with a group. Notify people, especially if you're going to be hiking alone. A
Yeah,
GPS device.
right. And then also like know an escape route. Like say if I'm hiking Cucamonga, for example, like um is there a way for somebody to rescue me there? Like, know what the nearest hospital is.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, know because people can know where you are but not get to you. You know,
Right,
I
right,
mean,
right.
there's this girl who hiked a lot of mountains like I do. This Taiwanese sports model. I don't know if you heard of her, but she used to like pose in the bikinis at tops,
Hmm.
of mountain peaks.
Peaks. Okay.
Yeah, and it was an article I read about how people are dying because they're doing these things just to get selfies and post on Instagram. But I want to
Yeah.
be clear, that's not what I do it.
Right.
But the whole reason I have this Instagram account is to share my accomplishments of hiking, cycling, and Spartan racing with similar hikers, bikers. So, you and many others, a couple hundred others, all have this in common with me. So, there's no politics here. There's no nothing negative here, and that's why I do it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, man. You're right. There's been so many things happening in the local mountains since I've been following it. Since I've been following groups and just getting a little bit more involved with the community. Suddenly, there's all these accidents that you're aware about that are happening that you didn't even know about before because of things like this. Just people trying to broadcast and get out there and make something of themselves through imaging or whatever it is. But I think what this has taught me, Jason, is just to respect the mountains, man. Respect the mountains, respect like the preparedness, like the gears. I was talking to
Right,
Jorge. He was talking about the gears, the helmets, the proper training, the knowledge, even conditions. Like when to turn around, know when to say this is I got to turn around here. And recognizing
right,
the areas where you can fail. So
sure,
I think that's kind of what I try to share with these stories. Is like you got to respect the mountains.
right,
These things
right.
are like these things are can kill you.
Yeah, I mean, there's some points on the trail where like people that were post holing, so I was like stepping in their holes, their footprints, but it had rained the night before, so there's like a thin layer of ice, and there's
Mhm.
cycling, like there's snow melts and becomes slush in the afternoon, and it
Yep,
freezes overnight.
yep, yep.
And so when I summited, of course, I got there like early in the morning. So um, when I summited, it was about 10 a.m.
What time you
So
start? What time did you start?
about probably 7 or 8 even.
Oh, so it took you
Uh,
about a couple hours, right, to get to the summit.
yeah, because if you look at the timestamp, my photos, it was about 10:30. I was there. I don't know if it would be show here, but on my phone, the timestamp would be like
Right.
10:30. I know it was 10:30 because I know when I fell, it was about noon and
Oh,
or
like
like
high
11:30.
noon. Like
It
just
was
enough. The sun has been melting that ice for a couple hours by then, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's totally about that. And when I posted it, this I think I definitely posted this on the blog on the Six Pack of Peaks site. And Jeff Heston, the guy who coordinates the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah, so he commented. He goes, "Thanks for sharing." It
for sure.
poses like it really explains like the real dangers that you can occur. So in my post, I actually put like several bullet points, things to look at, other than the ones we discussed. Just it wasn't a question of me of being in shape or being inexperienced. I had all that,
Right.
but you can
Exactly.
always have all that and still need you know prepare for contingencies. So that's why it helps to know, you know, is there a good escape route? If I broke my leg, how would I get off this mountain? Where's the nearest hospital? Like know those things before you hike. And fortunately, yeah,
And what Did this give you a perspective in life at all? A different perspective in life at all, or are you just has it changed you in any way?
Well, other than just making me more cautious about hiking and doing the things I love, it definitely didn't change that. I mean, I still want to hike, and you know, if you ever want to do Cucamonga or Baldy or Ontario Bighorn, if there's no snow on that, I'll do those.
Yeah, I'm in it. I mean, you and I at the very least have a commitment to either complete the 6 pack of peaks before the end of the year, and I'm doing Baden Powell the 25th. I know it sucks you can't come, but totally understand and totally cool with that. But you definitely got to reclaim that summit at some point. Hopefully, no snow on it, and just finish the hike.
Right. Yeah, and when
finish
it's
the
like
hike.
accessible enough, somebody puts the flag up there. But I mean, but other than hiking, it just I felt that all the effort it took to rescue me is like, if my life was worth saving, then I have to earn this. So, I'm, I volunteered for the Ironman triathlon down here in the Oceanside a few weeks ago, despite being, in pain all the time. So it's like giving back, it's earning this chance at life.
Yeah, but was that, has that always been the perspective, or this is kind of more crystallized it for you? Because you're a go-getter, you're out there, you're challenging yourself, and you're performing at these high levels here in yourself and your physical self.
Sure.
Has that always been the case for you, or has this just been a change of perspective, or the same kind of perspective?
Well, it's the same on that respect, like hiking, just constantly challenging myself and pushing myself for these physical things. But now it's like perspective. It's like, if my life was worth saving, then what can I do to earn it? And it's doing things for others. Like I mentioned, like there were two, there was a Super Frog triathlon and the Oceanside that I volunteered for, which I do anyway. But again, it's like, because I can't race, at least I can volunteer or help or be there.
Yeah.
In fact, next weekend is a Spartan race at Big Bear, which is like a big event.
Yeah, I've been hearing all about it, man. I got a couple of girlfriends who are just they're excited. They're trying to get their trifecta. They're trying to this is part of the trifecta, right?
Sure, yeah. And I did it last year. It was like one of my first Spartan races, and I did like the hardest one ever. The beast, the Big Bear beast. And this year I bought an annual pass. And so I could, but unfortunately I haven't been able to use it. But
what's that pass for?
For Spartan races, it's like a annual pass.
Okay, and you could do like any race with
like
it.
Any race.
Oh, that sucks, and you can't use it.
Well, hopefully by the end of the year I'll be able to do the one up in Castaic Lake, the sprint there, or do some of those. But like I'll still go with my friends to Big Bear, and I'll volunteer instead of competing.
And also, you're going to be up there for the 18th?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Are you staying up there, or are you just driving up for the day?
No, I'm staying up there. It's I have a little group of Spartan friends, and one of them is the wife of a racer, and she's like our Spartan mom.
Like the soccer mom.
Yeah, I mean she's a great runner too, but she she finds these Airbnbs and these lodges to stay in, and we have one that's walking distance from the start line in Big Bear.
Oh man, that's sweet.
Right. Yeah. So, but there's like, could be 8 of us. So you bring an air mattress and just crash right in the middle of the floor. But it's fun. They're all like-minded. They're all very positive, very good people. And
great,
Sergio. This is why I do it, because I connect with these people. These are the people I want to be surrounded with. I mean, they're the ones I want to have. We all kind of push each other up. There's no negativity. Nobody telling me like, you can't do that, or
right.
Why do you even questioning why? Because if someone asks you why you do it, could you give them a good answer? Only another hiker can understand.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what it is. And you know what I've discovered too, Jason, is that there's this is transferable. It's beyond hiking, like hiking and cycling and all these physical activities and all these goal settings and crushing and everything that we do. it's really just part of who we are. We exhibit that in our personal lives, in our professional lives.
Right.
Like we it's
Right.
not just in hiking. So it's kind of, we're about like motivating, building each other out, sharing the love, spreading the love, and I
Hmm.
think, I think we just build each other up, and that's what I like too. I like the community, and I think it's beyond. We have some common denominators amongst us that kind of bonds us in some way.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Jason, man, I want to thank you very, very much, man, for taking the time to share your story, man. I hope that wasn't difficult for you, and I hope that it wasn't like, bringing back memories or anything like that. But
No,
uh,
I have to say too, it was like, I mean, I've had the positive outlook all this time since the accident, and it's not something I had to work towards or work hard to achieve. I just always had it, and again, I can't really explain why, but
mhm, mhm.
maybe it's just like second lease on life or something. And even though I'm living in a world of pain like every day, it's never brought me down, not once.
And it sounds like you have a great group of friends
Yeah.
that's supporting you in that process, and that's what you've built up through this whole process and this whole journey. It's kind of what you've built out, and as a
Hmm.
result of that, you're kind of, now you get this opportunity to share your story and give something back, in some way. And I
Hmm.
think that's awesome, man. What's
Yeah.
that? That's the
That's my
device, the
Garmin.
Garmin.
Yeah, it's my Garmin InReach. I mean, look how
Oh,
small it is.
jeez, it's on
I
the
mean, it
palm of
fits
your
in the palm of
hands,
yeah.
and you clip that on, right? It has like a clip, how does that
Yeah.
work?
You see in the back, there's a
Oh yeah,
clip
there's the
right
clip.
here,
I
and
see
it
it. I
comes
see it.
with a carabiner and also a clip mount. So it'll fit on the back of your pack. So that's where you want
Hmm.
to have it.
Do you have to pay a
But
subscription service for it?
you do. But the beauty of it is that if you pay like $24.95 a year, which is less than you'll pay for a cell phone, and then like maybe $14.95 a month for um, whenever you have it activated.
Right.
So, and that includes the SOS
Right.
here. But the beauty of it is if you don't use it, then you could just suspend the subscription and not pay. And as long as you pay that $24.95 a year, you won't have to pay reactivation fees.
Right. Right. Right.
So basically, you're just freezing it. So obviously, I'm not going to climb mountains like Baden Powell daily.
Right.
So
It seems
and
worth
then
the investment, right? I mean, just something.
yeah,
I mean, you can't put a price on life, right? I mean, such a minimal
well,
amount of money for
sure.
safety and security and peace of mind.
And the assurance. And the thing is, I can put in your number and my girlfriend's number and my other friend's number. Um, so every 10 minutes or so, they'll get a signal like, knowing my location.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I know Strava has an app like a beacon that you could put in anyone's number and they can track where you are in real time. But
Right.
this does that too. I
And
mean,
and
better.
you sound like you're very analytical in regards to like looking at data and then kind of analyzing stuff and kind of. So you did a
Yeah,
lot of research in these type of devices, and then you felt this was the right purchase.
yeah,
Because I read an article on these Facebook groups about a guy who had a spot and it failed on him. I
yes.
don't know if you read that. Did you read that?
I didn't read that, but I mean, Spot was another one I was considering.
That's
Yeah,
the other like local, like well-known brand on this kind of stuff. I didn't even know
right,
Garmin had one until you mentioned it.
right. And the Spot is actually looks like a little BlackBerry. This one is more the form factor is just more like what you would expect. Not like a BlackBerry, but you
Right.
know, like a little
It's tiny,
walkie-talkie.
man. It's
Yeah,
tiny. It seems so small.
yeah. But I can't wait to try it out and
Are
just
you?
see how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See how it looks on a map. What do you wear? What kind of watch do you do?
Oh,
The Garmin?
this is a Garmin FR235.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and so it uploads a Garmin Connect wirelessly,
Yeah,
but I also have it automatically transferred over to Strava too, which
right.
it's a good social media for other like-minded athletes, and you can upload
Yeah, a lot of people
pictures.
on Strava. A lot of real competing guys are on Strava. You know what I mean? So I've been learning about all these different guys who are doing it, and their Strava seems to be the preferred platform for all the.
It is, and it's like I have Meb Kofletsky that I'm following on Strava. Um, there's a couple of famous cyclists, I mean, they're on Strava. Like Taylor Finney,
Uh-huh.
cyclist, he's on Strava. Um,
How many
so I
miles do
mean,
guys cycle? How often how many miles are those guys putting in a week?
the Tour de France guys.
Oh, well, no, what like yeah, like whoever, like you're following them on Strava, so I'm wondering if are you watching their like their practices, their training routines, or is it like their actual competitive routes, or do they track
No,
everything?
yeah, you don't really see it unless they're competing. Right now, I don't think they're doing it, but during Tour de France, they might.
Okay, okay.
Like Meb Keflezighi is kind of retired, but like
Oh,
he
okay,
runs,
okay,
and
okay.
and
But
I
still, he
think
shares his runs, like his maps and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, and everyone's given it gets like thousands of kudoses,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, did you hear that
likes.
Instagram's thinking of getting rid of the likes on these pictures? Like you won't be, I won't be able to see that you got 100 likes on a post, for example.
Oh well, that's good because I don't usually get 100.
It's so funny that it's even a concern that people are worried about that it being an issue, or I like likes. I mean, like you said, like, you share your adventures because you want to share your adventures. It's not because you want to, you want 1,000
Yeah.
likes. It's like you just documenting
Well,
your life.
like, and if you trace it back to these people who do things like they go to Half Dome and they go to the edge and they
Yeah.
fall off
Yeah. I've
because
heard
they
stuff like
wanted to
that.
get that Instagram selfie.
Yeah.
Um, you know, all my friends, like, a lot of my friends, like they post pictures like of beautiful scenery, like some adventurous shots, with these really imaginative quotes. It's kind of, they raise the bar,
Yeah.
because when
No.
I post the stuff, like how can I meet that? But, I know my own audience and it's good
Yeah.
enough for them.
Yeah. So, what's your kind of your final kind of your outlook for the rest of the year for you? So we're like, kind of almost towards the middle of the year, and you expect to be like feeling up to hiking some of these six-pack of peaks. You think looking about the late summer, middle of summer? When are you looking at to get
Yeah.
started?
Well, I mean, physically, I can hike probably, Baldy or San or Ontario,
Ontario
um,
Peak.
Mount Wilson for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of the pain. The pain. My ribs are broken from back to front, so along with it is nerve damage. So wearing a backpack was challenging, but
That's right. It comes right under your, like right next to your rib cage, huh? Like I did the
right.
straps.
But I'm looking at for new backpacks because obviously the one I wore that day is all torn to
What
shit,
brand
but I
was it?
still have it. It was a Camelback,
That was a Camelback.
and I've had it. I got it for a Christmas present from my lady in 2009, and I climbed Mount Whitney with it. I biked hundreds of miles with it. So many hikes. It really held up, but I'm looking for more high end now, a hydration pack, but like a day pack as well. I just bought trekking poles, because I lost them on the fall, and then I want to get the trail running shoes. Like I have Salomon Speed Cross, which I use for Spartan races, but they also have good traction for trails. So I'm looking for something like that.
When I summited Whitney, I used the Ultra Lone Peaks. Instead of, like, I hiked it up with my boots, but from I think, what is it called, from the base of the 99 switchbacks. What's that area called? Like that hiking area. I mean, that camping area
Oh,
there.
trail camp. Yeah.
Yeah, from trail camp to Whitney, it was all on trail running shoes, and it was a lot easier on my ankles, and a day pack. So we left all our heavy stuff and just got a day
Exactly.
pack and got trail running shoes for me in my case, and it made a big difference, and light, being agile and that sort of thing. Sometimes boots are rugged. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to
No,
be able.
I know. I mean, I have a pair of like they give you ankle support. You kind of want that in the first parts, like while you're trudging up the snow.
Yeah,
But once you have day
because you're
camp,
carrying 45 pounds too. You know what I mean? You're carrying this
right?
weight on you.
Sure. But then you can leave your trail camp and people, leave your wag bag.
You just got to worry about those little suckers, man. Like I left something out and they grabbed it and just tore it up. Thank God they didn't go into my tent, but they
Oh,
just,
those
just got off.
marmots.
Yeah, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
notorious. They'll bite through your stuff.
I know they're hard to marmot proof your stuff, but but it's those little wag bags, like
Yeah, yeah, you see them.
they're
The
all
crew that I
over.
rolled with, they were very, very nature friendly. They cared about the environment, leader to leave no trace behind type of philosophy in
Right.
hiking. And we carried our wag bags out. We tied it to this first time I carried it on the outside of my bag and just
Oh
carried it
yeah.
all the way out.
I don't want it bursting inside. It's really nasty. Like at the trailhead, that container where you dump the
Yep,
wag bags
yep,
next
yeah,
to it.
that restroom right there. Yeah,
It is nastiest thing I ever smelled. And well, we hiked Mount San Jacinto a couple years ago.
uh,
I was hiking with my Calabasas day hiker group, but I summited first, and that's where I saw you
right,
at the
right.
summit. But that um, hang on a second. Yeah. Yeah, I had to yeah, it's cool. So where was I?
You were talking about I don't know. I forgot myself.
Oh yeah, just um
Oh, San Jacinto.
so
We had met
San
at San
Jacinto.
Jacinto, right? You were with the Calabasas group, and then you got ahead of them, and then we met each other at the summit up there.
Right, and so the pictures you have from the summit, like we took, like the
Yeah,
ones I have, yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, somehow there's a connection with the wag bag story. I kind of lost. Oh, that's right. Like, so we met at the Marion Mountain Trailhead because that's actually was a better one because you didn't need a permit
Hmm.
for that. You don't need quota permits anymore, but you did at that time
Right.
for Sanji and
Yep.
San
Yep. You
and
had to go stop at the
Jacinto.
ranger house and grab one and
I know,
fit it out.
but there was a quota, so.
Right.
Um, but there's another approach is Humber Park at San Jacinto. The Devil's Backbone, not the Devil's Slide Trail.
Don't know it.
Yeah, it's a different way to climb up Jacinto. There's like a Taquis Peak and waterfall that you can also go.
Hmm.
But anyway, there the vault toilets there, like there are those nastiest things. These vault toilets, they never clean them. So.
And even though right now, when the government has shut down not too long ago, and all these national parks were impacted, they really like. Can you imagine how terrible it must have been then? With like
Yeah,
little to no
sure.
of cleaning of those places. So
Right, like
they really suffer.
the dumpster at Baden Powell in the parking lot was like overflowing with garbage. Like I took a picture of it. I obviously didn't post it, but
Right.
I can only post 10 pictures on Instagram, and one of them was going to be a overflowing garbage dumpster.
Right. Doesn't make
But
the
yeah,
cut.
you're right. This was during that shutdown.
Yeah.
This one that Trump had, this 35-day shutdown, and the trash was overflowing. I thought, this is a shame. I wanted to at least bring some awareness to it. But yeah.
Well, Jason, man,
Okay.
we're gonna end it here, man. I thank you for your time, and thanks for sharing your story, dude. Thanks